Good, it's just John O, and today I want to talk about the habits that ruined my 20s. Now, there have been many habits that have ruined my 20s, and I'm actually just going to go into saying the number one thing was probably taking a certain amount of drugs and actually using too much drugs, whether it was alcohol or marijuana. I remember times that I was just so addicted to it, I couldn't eat without smoking marijuana, and I couldn't even try to function in my day without it. So drugs was one of the number one things that I overindulged into, and they actually got the worst of me. Now I know many people can actually do these things in moderation, but for me, they're not really my cup of tea anymore. I just actually have noticed for the last 5 years I've quit them, and I have been sober, so my mind's more clear, and I'm actually able to think more straight now, and have a better outcome when it comes to my health and my mental health, and also the awarenesses I have with how when I used to do too much drug taking, I used to always fall into spending too much money on them. And although I know some people have a lot of money and they don't really have a bad drug habit, that's just something that I've noticed has it was kind of a waste of my 20s. Another thing was not going to the gym enough and not even going to the gym in general. That was another thing that ruined my 20s. A reason that it ruined my 20s was because I actually had a lot of weight gain and I spent a lot of money on Uber Eats. And I actually always ended up eating 2, 3 fast food meals a day. I actually became overweight, and it actually messed with me because I remember when I was younger, I used to be much more active and I used to be much more physically inclined to do something, whether it was play sports or just even go for long walks and actually clear my mind. But I noticed that in my early 20s, I actually stopped doing that as much. But it's been an on and off consistent basis of how much I've done working out and physical activity. But that is another thing that ruined my 20s. It isn't something that I did often, but it is something that when I used to actually not do physical activity and, for example, going to the gym and working out, because I had been for the last couple of years, but I remember in the early stages of my 20s, I didn't get to do it as much, and I was actually just indulging in fast food way too much. Now, I'd say the final thing that ruined my 20s was not focusing on my finances and not paying attention to my banking information, because I always remember that I was pretty good with money at first when I was working. I used to actually save a lot of my paychecks, and I even wanted to get into investing my money into the Forex trading market and other things like that, like the stock market. But uh, I actually ended up spending a lot of my money on miscellaneous things, such as buying too much clothing or loaning too much money to family. And that was one of the biggest things I did. I loaned a lot of money to family members, and they always ended up never returning it back to me, or even the fact that I even gave it to them in the first place was one of the biggest mistakes I made. But that just came with the territory of learning that when I work in the future, I won't really have money to really be sharing with other people. I'll have to make smart decisions and invest my money into better endeavors. Anyways, this is Just John O. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.